that. Let's move to your second project. You were telling us something about your second project.
So my second project was awareness on Lake Bogoria in Baringo.
Sure. Good evening and welcome to UNK TV. This is the Roundtable with... Good evening and welcome to UNK TV. This is the Roundtable with Amkich Karanja on UNK TV and Amkich Media. It is this Sunday evening, the 13th of November, 2022, a day that has seen the President visit Baringo County. And on that... Good evening and welcome to UNK TV. This is the Roundtable with Amkich Karanja on UNK TV and Amkich Media. It is this Sunday evening, the 13th of November, 2022, a day that has seen the President visit Baringo County. And on that note, we are live from Kibelian Hotel, the ivory tower of hospitality in Baringo, where you come in as a guest and leave as family. This evening, we are privileged to have on this show our guest, Miss Earth 2021-2022. She's going to introduce herself. And I have another guest here, a gentleman from Baringo too. We are going to have a very lively and interactive conversation around issues, environment issues, youth, and all that. But first things first, introduction. Let us get to know who our guests are. Karibu.
Thank you, Amkich. It's a pleasure to be here. My name is Stacy Jepchumba. I'm 22 years old. I'm a law student at the University of Nairobi. And I'm the reigning Miss Earth Kenya 2021.
And on that note, congratulations.
Thank you.
For being the reigning Miss Earth Kenya 2021-2022. Let's get the introduction from your end.
Okay, thank you so much, Amkich. Glad to be here. My name is Matini Binott from Mogotio Sub-County, Kipsogon Village, Baringo County. And I could say I am a community entrepreneur. I studied entrepreneurship, currently doing masters, and really passionate about whatever you are going to ask us.
Thank you so much. Thank you and welcome. Feel free. We want to have an easy conversation. And as we start, let's start, they say ladies first. And we want to get to know, when were you crowned Miss Earth 2021-2022?
I was crowned Miss Earth around 27th September 2021.
Wow.
Yes, last year, that is. And yeah, it has been 1 year and some months.
1 year, we are getting to,
yes.
1 year and maybe a few months.
Yeah.
Now, maybe Martin, you have any idea what being Miss Earth is?
Of course, I think being crowned Miss Earth means in the contest of Miss Earth competitions, she emerged the best person in terms of all the qualifications or the criteria set out for crowning someone to carry the title Miss Earth. And obviously Miss Earth means probably about protecting Mother Nature and something around that.
Is that what?
That's a very good answer. Very good.
Now give us the better answer.
No, not better, just expounded. An expounded answer,
yes.
So I'm an environmentalist. At the bottom of it, I'm an environmentalist. I care for Mother Earth, everything, climate change, everything, global warming, everything, extinction of animals. Mother Nature in its whole. Yes, so I'm an environmentalist, sorry.
Extinction is where organisms cease to exist from the face of the earth.
Yes.
Wow.
Because of the conditions that the people have set in place.
Tell us about the contest. We were doing the voting and all that, and then we saw it online. Now bring us up to speed with what exactly does it mean to contest and what does it involve?
First, I would like to say thank you to everyone in Baringo who voted for me, because that was just... I didn't know that was the force behind it, because it was so big. So thank you everyone from Baringo who voted for me. But the competition is a modeling competition. Let's start from there. So the prerequisites of you being a model. I don't want to say tall, slim, and beautiful, but those are the requirements. I don't say that because the modeling world is changing. We have plus size models, we have different kinds of models coming up. So, but for this specific contest. You had to be of a certain height, of a certain weight, and you had to be confident. Can you speak to people? Yes. The second requirement is you had to have an environmental project, because you can't say you're an environmentalist, but you're doing nothing to protect the environment.
Sure.
So under my belt, I'm a member of the Koibatek Union Students Association.
Oh yes, from the university.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So it was the former Koibatek, but now it's Baringo.
It's Baringo, the county.
Yes. So the group is environmentalist in nature, but also just philanthropic as a whole.
Oh, yeah, sure.
But we plant trees every year. So we've planted trees in schools, in hospitals. The new one in Mogotio, the sub-county hospital, we planted trees there. Yes, so that is the first one.
Wow.
We had to record everything, planting trees and everything. The second one was my project in Lake Bogoria in Baringo. I don't know if you're aware.
If you could stop at that. Martin comes from Mogotio, and he has told us where he comes from. And you have mentioned about the environment. We are having issues with charcoal burning. We are depleting the environment, and I'm sure you've heard what she said. What could be probably your something that you can input even before we move to the second project?
Okay, actually, the charcoal burning is a big issue. First of all, because Kenyans still rely so much on firewood and charcoal as a source of energy. So even before we talk about now stopping the charcoal burning issue, which is a threat to the environment, we need also to appreciate that majority of Kenyans, probably over 60%, still rely on firewood and charcoal. And also, charcoal in itself is a great threat to our ecosystem because first of all, Baringo is an arsal region. And now the trees found there are not trees that are planted, but they are trees that just grow, the shrubs, the indigenous trees.
Indigenous.
So it is a real threat. We see the motorbikes plying this route from Marigat all the way to Nakuru, supplying charcoal, which is in high demand in Nakuru, and even locally, even outside beyond Nakuru.
Sure.
So charcoal issue, actually, I don't know, we can't really say, I don't know how we can handle it.
We will come back
It's really
to that.
tough.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. I just wanted us to appreciate the fact that we have that challenge. It is. And it goes hand in hand with what she says. She's passionate about the environment. And we can't be conserving the environment if we are bringing down the indigenous trees that have grown for 100 years, 50 years and all that. Let's move to your second project. You were telling us something about your second project.
So my second project was awareness on Lake Bogoria in Baringo.
Sure.
So when I started it, I thought it was just Lake Bogoria in Baringo. But it is all the lakes of the Rift Valley.
Oh yeah, sure.
If you research very well, the levels of water are rising. And the three causes are climate change, siltation, and there are some scientists who are saying that it's just geology happening.
Yeah, maybe it's
something
underground.
in the fault plate, something is just happening down there that I don't think I have the understanding to clearly eloquate it. But on climate change and siltation, that is human fault, right?
Sure.
So I had to go there first of all. I remember the journey began at 4 a.m. And thank you to the Baringo County government because they provided the transportation there.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So when we arrived there, we are trying to enter the gate, but the gate is in water.
Oh, yeah,
the
it's
offices
flooded.
are in water.
So
I needed to tell the world that whatever is happening everywhere, the high temperatures, everything is affecting my home.
Sure.
Right? Is affecting my county. Is affecting the people of this county.
Yeah.
So that was my project
And
to
by
bring
extension,
awareness.
the Great Rift.
Exactly. Even Nakuru right now, people are still
sure.
complaining that it's coming into town. So my project was on the lakes of the Rift Valley and bringing awareness on what climate change is doing to the lakes. Yes.
Wow. I have been to, and we continue to encourage people from Baringo to tour Baringo because it has all the wildlife and everything else that looks beautiful. And we thank you for taking our county to the world.
Thank you.
I've been there once or twice, and I've also seen, we heard even in the news, it was all over the news, schools were being,
Closed,
yes, they were being submerged by water, and other schools had to seek refuge in the neighboring schools. We still have that challenge. It's been an issue, and maybe moving forward we will have that. Now, Speaking of the environment, I want to go back to Martin, our issue and our understanding of we need to balance between conserving the environment, which is so passionate about, and the reason why we have a crown, by the way, congratulations. I'm interacting with a crown for the first time. I don't know if you've
I've never seen one.
For your case, probably it's the first time, but for me, who has worked with young people before, including organizing beauty pageants.
Oh, wow.
So I'm quite used
How
to
different is this crown from the other one which we see on TV, the Queen's crown?
I'm a queen, so it's a queen's
Oh,
crown.
sure. So we should not be talking about other queens when we already have a queen
We
here.
already have a Miss Earth Queen.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Have
Thank
our
you.
queen
Thank-
in
oh,
Bahrain.
sure.
Yeah.
So it's a crown,
A queen's crown.
a queen's
Yeah, it's a
crown.
Queen's
Yeah.
crown.
Congratulations once
Thank
again.
you.
We will keep saying this even as we continue. Let's go back to our conversation and say, how do you balance? What do you think? How do we balance between environmental conservation vis-a-vis the need for us to have charcoal burning, to fend for our families, pay school fees and all that?
Okay, first of all, energy is just almost a basic need nowadays. We need electricity in our homes. We need fire to cook food. So it is a huge thing that we all need to handle as a country. And first of all, what needs actually to be done is to introduce some maybe short-term measures and medium-term measures and then long-term measures.
For sure.
And before we do that, we need also to educate our people that climate change is real. I think I can feel nowadays people are now aware that we have something called climate change, even in our villages. But what needs to be done actually is by the government to invest more in civic education on matters environment. Environment is not just where you live. Maybe you have a good place in your compound, in your land, but whatever is happening outside your doorstep or your compound will eventually affect you. So first of all, I think civic education is much needed, especially on the effects of cutting down trees, especially the indigenous trees, because an indigenous tree, especially in the lowlands, in the Asal region, you cannot replant those trees.
And even if you were to
It is
replant, it will take a lot of time.
It will take a lot of time. It will also, where do you get the seeds?
Yeah,
Where do you get the seeds for these indigenous trees? So that is the most difficult part, creating the awareness, which is what today
Miss Earth.
our queen is doing,
our
which is very important. I think we need even to support her more, so that she can reach to those villages and explain and get many young people to appreciate the fact that we need to preserve the environment. So it starts with civic education, and then now maybe we can lower down the cost of alternative sources of energy like electricity, and especially the clean energy, the gas. If we can get the gas to go to about maybe 500, 400 shillings per 13 kg cylinder, we can have many of our villages using the gas instead of firewood. Firewood is much it can be sustainable, but charcoal is not, because it is a quick destruction of our local environment. Yeah.
I'm sure you were able to explore a few alternative measures on energy conservation, but we'll get to that. I want us to take a break. We'll be right back after this. The conversation continues. Don't touch that dial. Thank you and welcome back to UNK TV, Amkich Media. We are live from Kibelian Hotel, the ivory tower of hospitality here in Baringo County, where you come in as a guest and leave as family. We were here with Miss Earth 2021-2022, and we were speaking about the issues of energy. Martin here had appreciated the fact that we need energy and we need to explore alternative methods of having energy in our houses and even beyond. What are those alternatives that are available?
First, I'd like to appreciate his answer.
Yeah.
He said the government shouldn't blanket the ban as we are banning charcoal, because that is risking a lot of livelihoods, right? So we shouldn't. I think our government is famous for just giving orders and then leaving it like that. So we need to have sustainable solutions.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And sustainable solutions is saying, okay, this is the situation. You need charcoal, you need firewood, but what can we do next? My proposition, or I think what we all think, is we should have optional methods of energy. The way he said.
Yeah.
We should have cheaper gas, cheaper methods, right? So in my opinion, I think we should look into indigenous knowledge because that is an untapped place.
Indigenous knowledge.
Indigenous knowledge meaning wazee wa kijiji, they know what they've been doing over the years.
Oh, yes.
They have maintained indigenous trees. What did they do? Did they burn it all? No, they are still here. Why don't we ask them? They should know what we are supposed to do,
sure.
right? Because I feel like there was a public participation where we were trying to pass a bill, a climate change bill in the Baringo County government.
Assembly,
and the bill said that a committee member of the climate change NI should have education, formal education.
It should be
and the
formally
forum
educated.
said, what do you mean formal education? We have wazee who know how to preserve the environment. Exactly. So my suggestion is, let us look at what the wazees have been doing. They know what they have been doing, and it has been working. Because we found trees here that are 100 years old. Let us ask them, what do they think? Yeah.
Maybe we it's a question of pressure. The pressure on, because we have had the population has grown, and the pressure on the available resources is quite huge. And like Martin would appreciate, we are having issues. Even every time there is a drought, the people who live along the rivers are always having fights, issues, and about water. You have heard about that. So we are not limiting ourselves to charcoal, because we also talk about water. People want to do irrigation along the rivers, and then we are depleting, we are over pumping out the water for irrigation and all that. So we, as much as we look for those alternatives, we also need to explore these other alternatives. Do you think the informal the informal
approach,
setup and the approach? What do you think? What's your take? Do you agree with her that we need to go back and look at what our the elders were doing, the other generations before us?
I agree, and I think that is very brilliant of her to consider the issue of indigenous knowledge. Indigenous knowledge is heavily untapped. It is totally ignored by the mainstream knowledge system or the education system, because we have been brought up to ignore what our grandparents usually, what they did, what they achieved, the knowledge they have even in terms of medicine. I was surprised even that there are so many medicine or herbal medicine in our villages that we are not using, and we are spending a lot of money, time and energy to get alternative medicine, which we buy expensive from other countries. So in terms of even protecting the environment, we need to utilize the indigenous knowledge from our communities, and these communities are the ones who are always expected to preserve the environment, while the government or other stakeholders are always ignoring their knowledge about their specific environment. You get some people from all the way from Europe coming to Mogotio, a village like Kisanana or like in Majimoto, coming to tell people about how to conserve Lake Bogoria ecosystem. How practical is that? How can you come from all the way from Europe and just insist on your ideas, while here in our locality we've been preserving all these ecosystems for hundreds of years? So I think the issue of indigenous knowledge is very important, and I'm glad that you as a young person, as a queen from Baringo, you're already appreciating the need for that. So I believe the young generation actually are now on the right track to use the indigenous knowledge to protect their own environment.
Speaking of indigenous knowledge, by the way, I have a neighbor, an old man, who can almost precisely predict when it's going to rain. It's interesting. He doesn't have a smartphone.
No.
He doesn't have anything. But just by waking up, he tells me he wakes up at 3 a.m., looks at the arrangement of the stars and all that, and then it tells you prepare for plowing in the next 2-3 weeks, and it works. I have tried it once, twice, and it has worked. So indigenous knowledge, all of us are agreeing that we need to get back to that.
Before you continue,
yes,
the reason I brought that up is because in that forum, a man stood up and said, why are we letting a 25-year-old man cut down a 100-year-old tree?
Oh yes.
Right?
That's
It
true.
doesn't make sense.
It doesn't.
He said the old man knew that when you wanted firewood, you go and cut a small branch, not the whole tree.
Oh yeah, sure.
Which is drying up.
Yes,
The
because now
dried up
you're
branches.
exactly
Yeah.
such a simple statement, and everyone is ignoring it and cutting down trees. You see?
Yeah, sure.
So it's a big knowledge gap that we are not looking into.
Maybe so that we move out from that. We are also clearly cutting trees to create space for to inhabit, because population. So do we have a remedy?
Yeah, we have a remedy. You are talking about cutting down trees
To create
space
for us to live, because now
live.
you are expanding our residences and all that.
I think that is the issue of population increase, and also the demand to produce more food. For instance, in places near forests, people are encroaching into public forests, community forests. People are clearing out their own private farms of trees, and now to do that, I think we need to educate our people more. It's so sad that we are all going to school, but we are still don't know how to conserve our environment and to produce enough food and also protect our ecosystems. So I think it's more about educating people on alternative ways of producing enough food, and even building technologies that are not consuming a lot of our environment.
Yeah, sure.
So I think we need to invest more on alternatives, not just building and expanding.
But do you think we also have issues with our mindset? Because do we need a mindset change? Like, we are brought up to know that once you grow up, especially the men, you build your house, your brother build. If you are 7 brothers, 7 houses.
Spread all over.
Yes. Do we need to speak to the mindset of our upbringing so that we know in future? And speaking of issues, housing, we will. It will be okay to live under one roof. What do you think?
Now that is a socio-cultural issue.
Yes.
But I think since we've gone to school, we have a lot of exposure in our villages. I think it is not in order for mzee wa nyumbani to tell you now the firstborn go and build that far end.
And then you have to clear
now
bush.
you have to clear the entire place. Now you go and build another place. So I think we need to consider that we can set up a place where all of us can build our own compounds.
We can
maybe
reside there.
maybe half an acre as a place of residence.
Oh, yeah,
and
sure.
then the rest of the land, we can now use it for agricultural activities, maybe to produce food, pasture, and then another portion of it, preserve it for like 20% of the land, preserve it for now to plant trees or to conserve the existing indigenous trees.
Oh,
so
yeah,
maybe we can, that is how we need to change the mindset. We need to change the mindset completely, because it is what is killing us. Slowly.
Before you continue, I know we've dwelled here so much, but I want us to
of course, we'll never get enough of it, but
So I want us to be alive to the fact that there are communities who live in the forest.
Oh yeah, sure.
We have the Ogiek. The other one is escaping my mind. But we have to be alive to the fact that there are communities who have lived in forest for thousands of years, and they have not been felling down trees.
Oh yeah, sure.
They have just been living well with the
And
forest.
the forest is not complaining.
Yeah, the forest is not, the people are not. It's an ecosystem.
It's an ecosystem.
And there's a court that actually forbid the, I think it's the Ogiek, to move out of Mount Elgon, I think. I feel like we should rethink.
Even Mao.
Yes,
Mao
we should rethink those communities, because they have been conserving the environment. They have not been falling the trees to construct. They have been living in the trees. You see? The untapped indigenous knowledge that I was talking about. Yes.
Very
So we are saying it's possible to conserve the environment while living comfortably around it.
Yes.
We can coexist.
Yes.
We can coexist without endangering.
Yeah.
So that we move out of this conversation. Because I'm finding it very interesting. You know, we have always thought that climate change issues has something to do with the developed countries, industries. So people think when I cut down 2 trees, that's not affecting the
Drop in the ocean.
Yes. So it's a drop in the ocean. It's not going. It has no effect. What, as Miss Earth and someone who is passionate about conserving the environment, what's your message to the people who have that kind of thought?
First, I'd like to say, yes, the developing countries are doing us badly. Those ones.
The developed.
Yes, those ones are really doing it. But the way you said, it's mindset. The moment you change your mindset, it changes everything.
Sure.
So the moment you say, let me just cut this one tree, think about the suffering woman in Turkana who has no food.
Sure.
Think about the dying turtle in the Indian Ocean.
Sure.
Right? So don't think, change your mindset from a you to an us, to a we. What is affecting the whole generation? I think it's called utilitarianism. Yeah. The greatest number, which is happy.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So think of a we mindset, of an us.
You think that it goes beyond you.
Yes, beyond your. Stop being selfish. You know? Sorry for calling everyone selfish, but stop being selfish. Think of everyone.
Selfish.
Yes.
No, we are being alive to those facts, and we have to
think
honor.
of we. Even personal experience. I used to do my nails. You see the fake nails? Those are very dangerous pollutants.
Oh.
So I was like, you know what?
Now it's
I'm going
from
to
the
think
queen.
of us.
From
Yes,
the queen
yes.
herself.
I'm just going to use my
I'm
natural nails.
sure the ladies watching are not excited about
Don't
that.
kill me. They are pollutants. They are plastic. The scent can even give you allergies.
Oh.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm allergic
It's the
too.
small things. You are allergic. Where were you allergic? How did you know?
You should tell us what,
Yes.
at
So
what
it's
point
the-
it became allergic. Yes.
Yeah, so it's the small things you do, think of a we impact.
Oh, yeah.
When you throw plastic, think of a we impact. When you cut down a tree, think of a we impact.
Yeah.
Okay? Not just human beings as well, the animals. When you go to Masai Mara, are you thinking about the wildebeest?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Right? So a we
I'm
mindset.
going to cut this conversation.
Let's move.
Because we are we are going to dwell here, but we'll come back to this.
We need
and
another show for this.
Yeah,
Yes.
we need a whole show for this because of
Segment.
course you are here.
And we've not even mentioned COP.
Oh.
And we are moving.
Oh, by the way, we not mentioned COP27 and
Yes.
and we are moving. But so that you say something about COP,
Yes.
you didn't conclude about the lakes.
Oh,
you
yeah.
just say they are flooding, and then do we have known remedies for such?
No, the issue
Or
is...
it all boils back to climate
It does.
conservation. of
Honestly,
environment.
it really does. It boils down to trees, because the siltation issue, it starts from the sources,
Oh yeah.
the river sources, because it's carrying silt all the way to the river, to the lake basin.
lake basin, yes.
So the lake basin rises and the water comes up. So the trees we fall down there, and the salt now is the soil
the
is
soil,
carried.
not the
Yes,
salt, yeah.
the soil is carried.
It is.
So
It's, the soil still has salt.
yeah.
Yes.
So bottom line is, climate change remedies work. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Number 2 is, as I mentioned earlier, we were sitting on a panel of public participation. So what I learned is Baringo didn't have a climate change law.
Oh yeah.
So that means we can't get money from the national government to cover environmental expenses. So that bill was supposed to give us the money to help the people who have been affected.
Oh yeah. Sure.
So that's one of the things we were working on this year. Yes.
That's legislation.
Yeah, legislation.
And that's an
obviously.
assignment to the legislators out there, especially in our county.
Yeah.
That is an assignment. Let's move on. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from Kibelian Hotel. We are having a very interesting conversation, and no one wishes this conversation comes to an end. But we are taking a break once again, and then we'll be right back after the break. Don't go too far. Welcome back to the program. Good evening, viewers. This Sunday evening, we are having an interesting conversation. We are live from Kibelian Hotel, the ivory tower of hospitality here in Baringo, where you come in as a guest and live as family. This evening, we are privileged to have Miss Earth Kenya, giving back to Mother Nature. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Matini here to help us have an interactive session on issues, climate issues, empowerment, and all that. we have dwelt so much on the environment, and we have agreed we are coming back to this this panel again to have that discussion. Let's move on. I want us, the president has been here in Baringo, and we want to appreciate Mheshimiwa Rais. We are very grateful that you chose to be in Baringo for the Thanksgiving service. We appreciate and we are proud of that. I'm sure that resonates across this table.
Of course.
Maybe because I'm reading the excitement. I'm reading the excitement. Before we talk about what I want us to say,
You also
something
want
about
to address the president.
Yeah,
That's
directly.
So maybe ladies first.
Oh, ladies first.
Okay.
Miss Earth, say something about the president's visit.
I think it's a smart move, considering he's building an agenda of a president for all.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So the fact that he's circling back to, I
The
want to say,
counties.
his people this early, that means he makes it matter that we were behind him, and he's saying thank you.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And on my political mindset is that I hope he delivers.
Oh,
I hope he's the president he
promised
sold
to be.
to the people, and I hope we'll be speaking of a different Kenya in 2 years, 3 years time.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's not just talking, and then 5 years we are like, na tulikuwa na president kweli, you know? We don't want such situations. So please work, please,
Wow.
please do something for us that is, and we'll also return the favor. As the youth, as the people of this country, we'll also work to make him a proud
Oh,
president.
sure. Wow.
Yes.
That is Miss Earth speaking to the president. Martin.
Okay, I think, Mr. President, we appreciate your visit to Baringo today, and especially your remarks on matters in security, on matters unity amongst the leaders of Baringo, and your bigger vision about the Hustler Fund or what you are planning to do for the young people. I think it's very important. On going around to say thank you, it's very important, especially to those people who voted for him. And I believe in the next coming months, maybe from December onwards, I think now you need to visit the other places that didn't vote for him.
Yeah.
And now tell them that we are all together in this, we are in one country,
Yes.
and we'll move together as one people.
I'll pick up from what you have said
Okay.
to the president. He has talked about the Hustler Fund. He has been here in Baringo today for the Thanksgiving service. And then he said something interesting that, of course, funny, but it's loaded with a message. Alisema Hustler Fund si pesa ya kununua nyama na kuenda kukula. What does that mean to the young people?
I think it was a very simple way to deliver the tough message that Hustler Fund siyo ya bure. Maybe to plainly put it, hii pesa si ya bure. It's government money, and ukiiba ama ukichukua ukimisuse pesa ya serikali itakuwa na repercussions.
Oh,
Yes.
sure.
Already I believe there are some regulations relating to Hustler Fund which will be presented to Parliament to be approved. Already even the commissioner, I think they are saying the county commissioners or regional commissioners are invited on matters to manage these finances, the Hustler Fund. They'll participate in public hearings about this fund. So, in short, the money is not free, it's for business. It's a loan, it's a very cheap loan with very minimal requirements or formal requirements like those required by the banks. So, I think that is a clear message the president said. It's not free. Yeah.
Stacey, you agree that the money should never be free?
My question is, why would someone want something for free?
Oh, sure.
Why would you want something for free? Because my understanding, the way I was brought up, something that comes for free, you don't really value it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You squander it very easily. So I do believe when the president says we're going to have a Hustler Fund, I do believe people didn't think it was just going to come for free. I do believe that. So it shouldn't shock people
There are
that
few of us
it
who
has
thought-
repercussions.
To be honest,
Right?
I have interacted with people, and even I also thought we would form groups, and then
For real?
we get money
For free.
Then we work with the money, and then we see whether it works out. If it doesn't work out, we try something else.
He's joking.
That's not how economics works. I'm not an economist, but I don't think
You're
that's
not
how
an
it
I'm
works.
speaking for the many who
Unajua hata nyumbani Amkich, hata pale nyumbani.
yeah, sure.
kitambo ukule ugali ya mama nyumbani.
Yes.
Ulikuwa unakula tu bure ama
No, you
umeenda
had
kuchunga ng'ombe.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, umechota maji mahali. You know,
Sindio, it was not really free.
for
yeah,
free.
sure.
So honestly, I don't understand the confusion of people thinking it was free, in my opinion. But it's a step towards curbing unemployment. But my concern as well is not everyone is entrepreneurial.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not sure how someone will turn that into profit exactly. Maybe education should come through.
We've never thought about that.
Because personally,
Yes.
me thinking of a business, I'm not that
easy.
Me, I just want to go to job at 9 and get out at 5.
Oh.
So I'm not sure if how many people are like me, but I am not business minded.
We will prioritize people who are business minded.
Yes.
So we utangoja kidogo
So
hasa afande.
no, what I'm trying to, I'm saying I'm just trying to say it's a brilliant idea.
Oh yeah, sure.
But now we need to educate people on prospective successful businesses
Oh
to
yeah,
start,
sure.
how to put that into place and run with it. Not just give people money and then people are going to struggle and then unawaitisha the interest and the loan back and they are like tulijaribu but hatukuwa tunajua. You see, so I would like, yes, the hustler fund to come, and honestly I'm not blaming the government. People should also educate themselves. Wasingoja ati sasa tufunzwe because we have the internet, we have Google. Why don't you educate yourself?
We are already doing it here.
Yes. So educate people and let people educate themselves and let people build businesses and let people prosper.
Oh, yeah,
okay?
sure.
Yeah, because the unemployment rates, it's not a joke.
Yeah, it's a real problem.
Yeah.
I'm sure Hustler Fund does not just go to businesses and all that. I'm sure we can form a group and even say we want to have a talent search place where we can learn how to sing, how to play something creative that can give us money.
Okay.
It may not be opening a kiosk or buying a boda. I think it goes beyond
The business idea.
The business idea.
Okay.
So maybe Martin, you have interacted with people on issues talent. Do you think there is a place where they come in on this issue of Hustler Fund?
Yes, they do. They do so much. But I want to come back to what the Queen said.
Yeah.
We need to do a lot of civic education.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And I like how the president himself is doing it. You know, when the president speaks about something, everyone takes it seriously.
Yes.
He says the money is not free. Of course, delivering the message in a
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, so that is very important. We need to educate our young people, and our leaders should be on the forefront, educating and doing the civic education on maybe how these young people can start thinking like business people, like having the entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
So it starts with our leaders. Secondly, the government actually needs to invest so much in people who are already enterprising. For instance, even the platforms like this one now, we need more platforms. We need the TV stations to educate young people about how they can start businesses, how they, even churches, even we need even to get churches to organize after church. We have a session in the afternoon whereby young people are remain behind and they are taught like 1 hour about maybe how to start a business, the challenges you should expect, where you can get your startup capital, what skills you require and such. So civic education is really much needed so that this Hustler Fund can be successful.
Yeah, sure.
And now coming back to the question of talent.
Oh, yes.
Talent development actually is very crucial, especially in the age of the digital era, digital age era, and also the unemployment challenges that you are facing.
Oh, yes.
Talents can be converted into money-making entity. For instance, let me use the example of our Miss Earth here.
Yeah, sure.
You being a celebrity, the crowned advocate of Mother Nature. you can be a community entrepreneur. I believe there is social entrepreneur. There is what you call social entrepreneurship. But now I am now digging even deeper to community entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That is what I'm now calling myself nowadays. I'm a community entrepreneur. So you can also be a community entrepreneur by providing solutions to community challenges or problems using business models.
Oh, yeah.
For instance, now you can be someone who inspire people, and you are maybe you partner with other organizations to facilitate you to go and talk to people, to talk to communities, talk to stakeholders. You can also convert your crown to be a business entity. For instance, you can be advocating for environmentally friendly fashion items or
Beauty practices.
beauty products.
Yeah.
For instance, you don't have to put up those nails. But what other natural and organic ways to look nice that can also appreciate our cultures, that can also enhance our indigenous knowledge, and now present it as a fashion, and that can still make money out of it.
Sure.
So there's a lot of opportunities, speaking as an entrepreneur, that maybe we can go and educate our young people so that they can now turn their talents into enterprises.
Martin, I have a problem, and you. I have a problem with our young people. We can plan here and agree that tomorrow we will be in Mogoti or we will be in Kirinyaga or wherever we will be to look for the youth and educate them. They never come out. The young people don't come out to be taught. They are doing something somewhere they don't want to, it's either they are watching football or they are doing, like in the past we used to have chiefs barazas, and when a chief went around to announce that there will be a baraza, people would turn up. Public participation you've talked about. We go for public participations on issues relating even matters that affect the youth directly. You don't find young people coming out to listen. Wow, we have a problem. How do you bring our young people to be serious about this? Because even if you talked about the Hustler Fund and how good it is and how it's going to transform people, the young people, if they don't come out to listen and be taught.
Oh, wow. Funny you should mention that, because I've been to public participation forums and there are no youth.
Yeah.
So it's actually true.
So it's true. So I'm not. I'm speaking the truth.
Yeah, you are. So I'm not quite sure what the solution for that is, because I can speak for myself.
Oh yeah.
I have been to these forums. I take myself to these forums, and the nice thing about them is that they are announced online, where apparently all the youth are. So you can't say they didn't see it, So I don't know what the solution is exactly. I don't know. That is an honest. I don't know what.
Martin,
please answer, because I'm not sure how we are going to bring them. Should we buy them drinks?
Before Martin answers, let me tell you something. Sometimes we are in a WhatsApp group and we are telling ourselves tomorrow there is a public participation, and the kind of questions the young people ask. Kuna soda?
Kuna lunch?
The last time tulikuja tulisimama kuna kiti.
It benefits you. Why are you asking for incentives,
Exactly.
Yeah.
We are not willing to sacrifice our time and even our resources, even our bundles to browse for something that will build us. You have a solution to that?
Not really a solution.
Or an idea that can
I just want to expand on the challenge that it is. It is really a challenge. Personally, even maybe to admit that I've not been to the many public participation forums. But I think if the Constitution requires public participation to be undertaken, then it is upon also the government and those who are tasked to come up with, to develop better ways to reach out to these people. And even if it is about enticing them or making sure that they participate in one or another, it is incentives. Maybe they should have the incentives. First of all, a young person cannot come there and sit down and try to digest all the issues. They don't even understand this public participation started where and it is ending where. So I think availing information using the right channels is very important. For instance, why doesn't this public participation be broadcasted live on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
Why isn't it possible even for WhatsApp groups? For instance, in Mogotio, we have the Mogotio Voice Forum, which is very famous. We
Sure,
have
it's
Mogotio
popular.
Capital News, whatever.
Yeah.
They can also again do a broadcast.
Oh yes.
Even UNK TV, Amkich Media can do a live broadcast of each public
And people
participation.
can
People
participate.
can participate. Of course, they will be very tough. They will start sending rough comments. But it is one way for them
Yeah,
to
we
participate.
are
I
very
think
bold by the when we are.
we are
Behind a
texting
screen.
online.
Yeah.
When you're texting online, no one sees you. You can express yourself.
Oh,
so
yeah, sure.
maybe we can start thinking about
Along those lines.
But it's really a challenge. The young people don't see the value of participating, and also maybe because they are still not facing the challenges that are really life-threatening compared to our parents.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
sure.
You know, a young person baada anaweza zunguka town na waste time hapo, spend time online, but jioni atenda nyumbani apate chakula.
There's food. Yeah.
So for the parents, going for public participation is really critical
Yeah. On
their
for
part.
them. So maybe it's something wide that needs to be
Of course,
thought,
and of course, we also want maybe to have institutions like the youth empowerment centers and all that.
Yeah.
And let's sensitize ourselves. Go there for those meetings and all that.
I want to interrupt you a little bit.
Yes.
Because I think there's a point in my head that's going to go away.
Yeah, we don't want that point to go out.
When you said about churches, when you said we should have churches, forums, and all of that, I remember there's a church in Mogotio where they got tired of easy to change. What they did is they changed once, built a plot and rentals, and that's how they changa all their needs.
They were able to sustain.
Yes, to sustain all the changa situations, right? So with that thinking, the Hustler Fund can also go to churches,
yeah.
Oh,
build businesses, you know?
Bishop Kotut should listen to you because I think
He's my bishop.
Continue, yes.
Yeah, so with that sense, and also the fact that it's a church, many people believe in the church.
Oh yeah, sure.
Right? Many, you can tell someone to go to a public participation and they'll be like, no. Tell someone to go to church. They will go because they have been brought up in the Christian way of life and the mosque way of life and something like that. So we should also, but also that is, we should put a caveat there because not all churches are
Oh yeah, sure.
are truthful. My second point before it goes is I also think the youth don't have much faith in the government.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because the government has neglected the youth
They
for
have
a long
always
time.
been disappointed.
Yes. So when they hear government public participation and such things, they're just like, so wamekuwa wakitulenga for a long time. So maybe the challenge is to go to the government to involve the youth. I've heard there's a 23-year-old woman rep, there's a 23-year-old nominated MCA.
Oh,
So that's a good step, but more youth.
Oh yeah, sure.
More youth in government.
So let's agree that we need to mobilize our young people. I think we even need to, before I have seen young people over the weekends, they crowd public places to watch football.
Yes.
Can we even have 5 minutes before the game starts?
Yes, you stop.
No, you don't stop the game. That's chaotic. Yeah, of course,
or
before.
during the halftime.
During the halftime, we say, gentlemen, form a group and do
Yes.
this and do.
Yeah.
We are you promising, Miss Earth? Are you going out there to, especially the girl child? You know, Asla fan sounds like masculine. It's for the boys.
True.
Huh? True. Talk to
It
the
is
girls.
true. It is true, but the empowered girl does not feel like that.
Oh, sure. Oh,
Yeah,
you.
so it's-
Oh.
Right?
What of those who are not empowered? But I think for on the Hustler Fund, let's not say it sounds masculine, because now that will might shift the focus from.
No,
now
of course,
the-
you see, of course, I don't want to be taken out of context.
Yes.
I mean, hustler, hustler, we've always known ourselves.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
it sounds-
Mjengo.
Mimi ni hustler.
Mjengo,
Yeah,
boda.
jamaa boda.
Actually, it's quite
Lakini-
quite
Yeah.
not in order. But since maybe the ladies are not complaining, unless you can talk on behalf of them, are you complaining that it's masculine?
It's very dangerous to talk for a big group of people because not everyone thinks
But I
like
hope
me.
But you are the queen.
You are the queen, remember?
Of Mother Earth, not
Oh,
girls.
Mother Earth. Yeah, exactly.
But I don't think it's masculine as such. I think you should just stop the surface meaning of it and just look into what does it really mean to be a hustler, to grind every day, to look for what to eat every single day. And I don't think that's a masculine thing as of the 21st century. Everyone needs to bring something to the table. So I don't believe it's that masculine.
We are really running out of time, and I wouldn't want us to conclude at a point. Our director is telling us that we don't have much time.
Okay.
And we want to, there are a few impediments, those things that can impede the young people from accessing funds and even being productive. We have issues with drug and substance abuse. Okay. I think every household these days is struggling with one boy or a girl who is not consuming the right thing. And this thing is making us lose a lot of human resource. Young people, energetic, boisterous. Yeah. But drugs, the drugs is wasting our young people. Yeah. Miss Earth, say something, and then of course you'll also say something. Let's speak to these young people.
Oh wow. Drugs and substance abuse. I'd also want to add cyberbullying.
Oh, sure.
I'd also want to add depression.
Oh yes, and you know depression.
Yes.
We can talk about depression for 2 hours.
Yes.
We'll come back.
So
we'll
not
always be
drugs and substance abuse.
Oh yes.
It's a lot of things. It's your mental health. It's a lot of things. So in my opinion,
yes,
I think the problems I don't want to say have always been there, but technically they seem to have always been there. Because I was born when the new millennium was coming, 2000.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And my mother was telling me in the 1980s, there was HIV and this and this and this. So that's promiscuity, right? So that's another challenge.
Oh, yes.
Facing the youth.
So every generation has always had their
problems and problems. So we could say awareness, we could say all those things, but in my opinion, I feel like the sustainable solution is to ask the youth, what life do you want? Is it a life where you want to be drunk from Monday to Monday? Is it a life where you're not productive? Like, let's take into consideration what they would want to achieve. And tell them, if you do A, B, C, D, you're not going to achieve Z.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Right? If you want to parade town and race with motorbikes while high, you're not going to have all that money you want.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Right? So, I don't know if that's a solution per se, but take into consideration what the youth want. Because, as I said before, our government and our families and people have been used to just saying, usivute bangi. Nobody is saying, ukivuta bangi, this will happen.
Or usipovuta tutakupatia hii.
Yes. Nobody is saying the consequences. They're just saying, stop having sex before you're married. Nobody is saying, you'll have 5 children by 25. And in this economy, you cannot have 5 children. Nobody is saying, nobody is saying what comes next. Somebody is just saying, stop doing this.
Don't.
So tell them what comes next and tell them, with the life that you want, that is not going to happen. That is my opinion.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yes.
Martin.
Okay, I think to add on what she has said, she has said what needs to what the young people can be told, and what they want.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe now I can take it another level. Maybe what we as the family, especially our parents, our seniors, and our governments, what they need to do, our churches, our local organizations, our business communities. I think the reason young people are wasted so much is because, first, the education system promises them a lot of things. Go to school, work hard, get an A, get employed, become a doctor, be successful. That is what we see when we are going to school. But the reality is not, it's not like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Hiyo kwa ground mambo ni
Very different.
totally
Very different.
Exactly opposite.
Yes.
So now a young person done with high school, done with college, nimeona wase wa degree wanafanya bodaboda. So it's quite depressing.
Yeah.
Nimeona wajama after high school or even Form 3 dropouts doing boda and they are racing so fast on the roads, which is very risky. So this is a display of energy. It is display of both energy, creativity, desire, and to some extent frustrations, disappointments. It's a combination of both, which is now becoming dangerous to them and also to the entire society. So I think the families, we need to talk to our parents to invest more in things and opportunities that our young people can now dive deep into. For instance, if you have someone who likes to become a doctor and he or she is not able to get maybe an A to become a doctor, he or she should be supported to do something very close to that. If you are a creative person and maybe you are a musician or you are a painter, you can draw, and the parents still insist you must go to school, go to college, go become a teacher, enda TTC, teachers training college. Naona kila mtu anasukuma huko sana. So you can imagine the desire to be an artist and the reality that you don't have brushes, you don't have opportunities to draw. The environment is not even conducive for you to concentrate and draw a painting. So you end up indulging in drugs. I think that is how most our young people...
So let's say our young people are having a lot of time that is not being put into
utilized, So we need to invest from the family level. Create spaces for young people to do something. Make sure they have somewhere to express that desire that they have, if it is talent, if it is entrepreneurial mindset, if it is to become employed, something that they can put their energies on. Without that, we are sure of having people who are lost in drugs.
I know the director will kill us, but I need to say this.
He'll start by killing me and then coming to you people.
So before he comes to you, finish your point.
I think it has just run away. Continue then.
I was saying we need to conclude, but even as we conclude, opportunity. I'm saying all the young people out there need to come out and benefit. You remember we have issues in security. We have young people in Tiati, those sub-counties which are experiencing insecurity issues. But we may not delve much into that today because of time. But we are promising we'll be back. Now, your point.
Let me finish. So,
your point.
Yeah. When you have an intelligent mind, just things keep your mind. So when you said something, it triggered my mind.
Oh yes.
When in an African home, in a Kenyan home, in a Baringo home, you're told, Peter class 8, Peter form 4, ingia university, kuwa daktari, lawyer, ama engineer. That is the template, right? And I'm in 4th year, so I'm learning education, law and policy. Sure. And our lecturer was saying the way, nobody is talking about TVETs. Nobody is saying about the skills of being a plumber. Nobody is saying the skills of building and construction. So I'd like to challenge from the family level exactly, is to stop pushing the need of a degree in your child's head.
CBC is going to solve that issue.
I'm not quite sure. I have my own thoughts on that one.
We are told.
But you should think of other methods of education that are, should I say, employable?
But
that skills that can give you an entrepreneurial idea to start.
Of course, putting in mind your passion.
Yes. So like if someone can be a plumber, how many plumbers are needed in this Emining, for example, in Kibelion Hotel, for example, how many plumbers are needed? Okay, how many hairdressers are needed? So the skills that we are ignoring due to nataka degrees, let's think differently about that.
Of course, without undermining the importance of your degree, you are in 4th year.
I'm not undermining. I'm just saying, honestly, people who had A's, people who had first class, second classes are driving bodabodas. We need to rethink.
It's a tragedy.
We need to rethink. Okay, so an engineer. But there's someone who can do a better job at, I wanted to say painting my nails, but we agreed we are not doing that anymore.
Of course.
But
we have Miss Earth Matini. It's been a pleasure. We can't finish
everything.
I just want to give you an opportunity to do your closing remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, remember we've been here, and viewers, you have been part of us. Thank you for following this conversation. we want to come to the close of this. Want to allow you to make your closing remarks, and then you'll also close, and then we are promising we'll come back here and do what we didn't do today.
Okay. It's been an honor having this conversation. It gives hope to the fact that as youth, we have the know-how, we have the confidence, we have the skills to do anything that we want. So to any girl out there who wants to be a queen, to any girl who's just dreaming to walk on any runway, it's very possible.
Wow.
It is everything your mind thinks about.
It's possible.
It's very possible.
What you conceive.
So don't limit yourself by just thinking of a thought and just saying, kuna mwingine atafanya. No, wake up, do it, practice. Because honestly, this was my first competition ever. I competed with people who had titles and titles and titles. And the first day I remember we were training catwalking, people laughed at my catwalk.
Oh.
Really?
Honestly. And I was just like, you know what? I can just go home and cry. But I didn't. I went to YouTube and I saw how queens walked. I saw how they did. So you can do everything. Don't doubt yourself, because that's the beginning of failure. Doubting yourself.
That's the beginning of failure.
Yes. Encourage yourself. Look at the mirror. Practice. If it is coding, code every day. You know? So discipline. And I'm a believer. So I believe you pray to God. Or whatever you think God is.
Very important.
So faith, discipline, and mindset. That is my
Miss Earth,
Miss Earth
Kenya 2021-2022. Viewers, it's been exciting. It's been brilliant. We are very grateful. Your 1 minute starts now.
I think I'll start with what Queen said. She said discipline. I think what ruins most of us is discipline. It's something we were being told in school. Kuwa na nidhamu. Yani siku hiyo haikuwa ina make sense. Nikimagine nikiwa primary school, tukiambiwa to work hard, be disciplined. It wasn't really making sense. But I thank God, I think I'm quite disciplined. So discipline is number one, guys. Ukiwa talented, whether you are brilliant, you are an A student, you are a genius, you are talented in whichever way, however great you are, discipline is what will take you to even greater heights. It also, itatusaidia to yani achieve whatever you want, because discipline now will help us, the young people, maybe to learn, be ready to learn. If you want to apply for the Hustler Fund, you have to be disciplined to be a successful applicant and maybe utilize those funds. So I think I won't even add so many issues. Let us learn more about discipline. Discipline in all our aspects of lives. And I want to urge all of us to keep watching our shows. Thank you for being with us. I think, Amkich, we need another time.
I'll bring you back.
Since it's our first time meeting, my first time meeting the Queen.
Sure.
I remember voting.
It's a first time also for me.
Really?
Yeah, I've never met her. We met today for the first time.
So it's also my first time. I think we need another roundtable session with the Queen. I think tunaweza fanya a lot.
Asanteni sana. Thank you so much, viewers. It's been great. It's been the round table with Amkich Karanja here. I don't know if our slogan when we were in primary school, we used to say, discipline is doing the right thing at the right time, in the right place, in the right manner to achieve the desired goal. That is what we used to say when we were in primary school. I hope it still makes sense, and it makes sense even with what these two great people have said this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, viewers, thank you so much for being part of us. We are concluding. Asanteni sana, and thank you for coming here, Queen. Thank you, Martin. As you've said, I want to promise we'll be back to the round table to have a continuation of this discussion. Thank you so much. I've been your host, Amkich Karanja, on the road and the round table on UNK TV, Amkich Media. Asanteni sana.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers, bro.
Asante.
Nilifikiria utani.
Good evening and welcome.